एक ऐसी इवेंट जिसमें तमाम गुरु दीवास मौजूद हैं और उनसे बात ना हो तो ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? टेक अ लुक ओवर द पैनल डिस्कशन एट Predaxis.
Because obviously when you make peanuts, that is what's going to happen. And that's something that as past, Kamran knows about it, a lot of our sessions, try to explain to the family-owned agency network that you've got, you've got to pay the right kind of amount. But also, I think the quality of resource from the client side, the brain drain or whatever, has not looked very inspiring in a while. I think it all comes down to finally re-understanding each other's jobs. They've got to understand it even better than the client, because brand manager moves over to another brand. The agency is the ingenuity factor there. And now I see clients commissioning pitches for every campaign, and one brand has two major campaigns, so there will be two different agencies working in that year. How the hell are they ever going to figure it out? And then I think something that was said earlier, if, the want something else, that still would be fine if the client sat there and said, yeah, I want to see something good. But right in the first concept presentation, the comment is, yeah, or now the word, boss, you can't copy that, just use AI. Or the layout, you use your ChatGPT. So yeah, so I think, frustrations, for me, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think he's made your life a bit easier, Priya, because he's also agency perspective. So Priya, I wanted from your perspective and your vast experience of being in fact on both sides, but basically as an agency, your frustrations with clients, and in your opinion, what are the frustrations that agencies normally face?
First of all, I'd like to thank Ali. Thank you, Ali, for making my life easier. And I think trust is something, it's a relationship. It is, not here? Okay. Trust is a relationship and it is built both sides. And one of the things that he's mentioned, which a lot of young people or young agencies don't know, and we know, because we've been in the industry so long, is when he talked about building that relationship. I think my career was literally built by Unilever because they put so much time and effort into. They saw a resource, they saw talent, and they said, "अब इसको सिखाओ, इसको build करो, ताकि एक relationship चलती रहे." And I know about this brand more than all of you because we had that kind of relationship. And what I also feel that kind of took that whole thing away was the pitch system. I think everybody in any agency I speak to, this is the biggest role that they play because it's become not. We feel on the agency side when I talk to my peers that there's a lack of transparency there. So you get a brief, you sit down, you work on it for weeks. We're not doing AI 3-day. Work. We're doing a lot of work. We're designing. 3Ds take a long time. We put our efforts. We get vendors to give us quotations. When we put that forward after 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks of work, and we're pitching against 10 other companies, sometimes we don't. Number one, we don't get paid to do that pitch. So all the resources are from our own side. Then sometimes the client will come and change the brief and say, नहीं अब इसको इस तरह करना है. तो आपने 3 weeks का काम किया and you're going backwards again and starting all over again. So there's that frustration building. अब एक Gulf War चल रही है दोबारा से. So what happens? आपने 6 महीने काम किया या 3 महीने आपने एक इवेंट पे काम किया, वो कैंसिल हो गया. Do you get any compensation for all the time that you spend? Not really, unless you have a contract in place which has a clause in it that you will get paid for the work that you have done. And then you, अच्छा वो अगले हफ्ते होगा, अगले महीने होगा, 6 महीने, it's cancelled, it's gone. So these are some of the frustrations. And let's talk about payment terms. Sometimes.
Actually, defending the clients a bit more.
It's okay. I think it's honest. When you're honest, you can sit down and find solutions to all of this. Because it's very important to say the truth. I think Sharleen just said it, so I'm going to say what we feel. It's not just me, by the way. It's most of us.
You've been representing the client as well as the agency's sides. You have both the viewpoints. So, what do you think are the solutions to these problems?
Yeah, thank you, Shanaz, for putting up the question. I feel working from the agency, so I started my career with the agency, so I actually know the pain points from the creative side also. But generally, it never was, so I would disagree on that aspect of career. Payment के हिसाब से या फिर remuneration के हिसाब से I feel clients, at least the ones I worked with, they were like great with that. But हाँ, ये ज़रूर है सब क्या हाँ, when you present creative work, there was a lot of to and fro, but then there's the client side of the story, which is we know the brand better than you. So I feel. And now that when I'm working for an association, and it's an advertiser's body, and our premise is, what I've seen with most of the member companies is, whenever we're launching any competitions, we're doing capability workshops, conferences, I see my members coming up to me and saying, we want our partners equally capable enough. We want to invest in them. Invest on their learnings, invest on their capability building. So that's the right side which I've seen, now new members, they really want to invest in. Investment bank account. So that is it, and I think respect from both sides. You should see the सबसे ज़्यादा important question that every agency evaluates their clients. I'm sure Aziz would agree with that. They don't have that opportunity or they don't feel comfortable discussing out it with their client. Okay, these are the talks you need to have with your clients. They discuss it internally. This is and imagine if they come across sitting on a table with the client and discussing it eye to eye level. Okay, boss, this year you made it hard for us. These kind of conversations are there which needs to be done. But apart from that,
it's happening at L'Oreal where when the great campaigns we do, the awards we win, that's amazing. But also understanding very, very minor level issues from sales to retention to when creativity or creative people are able to have a say on that table, I think the trust starts to begin to, and I'm seeing this especially with younger marketeers that are coming out, that they're looking at the expertise of the agency and not just a vendor that is there to, you give. I think the new marketeer, the younger generation, doesn't want a note taker who जाके मैंने बोला तो मुझे काम मुझे करके दे दे. And if there are, I think they're doing themselves a disservice and to the organization a disservice. Companies like L'Oreal, National Food, so many of them treat God as an organization that have become more sophisticated in their operations and everything. I see the trust starts to build with the agency side as well. Look, there are many challenges on the agency side. Everyone said payment time पे नहीं आती, expectations हैं, 2 दिन में चीज़ कर दो. That's been spoken about a lot of times.
Thank you, Shanaz. And I think just also, thanking the panel for some really interesting conversations being played out in the open. I think I do want to address a couple of things before I move on to the question itself. I think trust and transparency are big words, and they're not they don't happen just because someone said we want to trust the client and we want to trust the agency, or that everything should be transparent. It's a process, it takes time, and it takes commitment from both ends to make it happen. Of course, a lot of the conversations around leaves, around payments are true conversations, and they should be had, and they should be addressed. But I can tell you, after 24 years of working in this industry, and primarily in Pakistan, it's a systemic issue in the industry, because even when agencies do get paid for pitches and do get paid on time and with advances, they don't, unfortunately, not all of them, but some of them, will not pay onwards to their vendors. So sometimes you get phone calls from influencers, especially if you know them personally, and they'll say, oh, but our payment hasn't come through from the agency, whereas I can tell you as a client that we paid. So there is, great campaigns benefit everybody. It's not just the brand manager who walks away with anything. Right? If anything, coming back to now, then Shanaz, your question, how can clients make this trust piece work? And I think that it is being transparent about the business context. A lot of times the conversation gets very short-lensed into a comms or a campaign or a particular event, whereas I think that clients need to share a bigger picture business outcome that lies and nothing gets lost. So rather than talk about transparency